Welcome to Secrets to Alignment with Savannah Schaffer. I am here to equip you with the belief and energy to make your dreams a reality. Take this time to fill your cup and align with the most vibrant version of you. Welcome back to the Secrets to Alignment podcast with your host, Savannah Schaffer. I am so happy to be here. I just now received an amazing text from one of my listeners, like just 5-10 minutes ago. And he was just saying that last week's episode was so amazing and that I've been on fire lately. And I am just feeling that so full on right now. Like I am just feeling so incredible and so in alignment with everything that I'm sharing on this podcast. And I appreciate you guys so much for sharing this with your friends. I've had so many new listeners come through recently. We are just spreading amongst the entire nation, not even the entire nation, around the entire globe right now. And it is just so freaking cool to see all of these states and all of these different countries that I can't even pronounce. Like you guys are listening all over the world. And I just love seeing this so much. Like my face hurts from smiling so much. Like I'm truly so grateful. So thank you for being here. Today's episode is actually such an important one. And I know that I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I'm so freaking excited to get into this. Your perception creates your reality. And I am sure that you have heard that over and over again. But this is a principle that I feel like comes up every single stage of where you are at because we are continuously evolving and growing. And your reality will only be a result of your perception. And if you are wanting to shift your reality, you must indeed shift your perception. Even if there's just one area of your life that you're like, I really want to improve my finances, I really want to improve my love life, I really want to improve my weight, whatever that it is, anything that we're wanting to shift externally, we must shift internally beforehand. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First and foremost, I feel like so often we go through our lives in default mode where we're just kind of floating, we're in autopilot. And a lot of times we have these programs based on the people that we grew up around, based on the people who we've surrounded ourselves with. There are many influences in our lives that may not be that supportive for limitless opportunities and for you to attract everything that you desire. And a lot of times, unfortunately, our default modes are that things aren't working out for us, that of course that always happens. We're constantly complaining and thinking that of course that's going to go wrong. And why would I succeed at that? And is this really going to work out? Or we're saying things like, I hope that this happens, but we truly don't believe internally that it's going to. Or when something does go wrong, we're just like, of course, that always happens to me. Everything always goes wrong. Like everything is always delayed. Everything is always overcharged. Everything is always creating this frustrating experience for us where we're in complaining mode and we're not actually seeing all of the things that are truly working out for us. We'll say things like, it never fails. That always happens. We're almost in this mode where we expect things to go wrong. We expect things to not work out for us. And if your perception is your reality, then of course, nothing is ever going to go correctly. Nothing is ever going to go the way that you'd like. And this is because our brain actually wants to continuously prove us right. So anytime that something happens, then instantly we're like, oh yeah, of course that happened because that's what I thought was going to happen. But if you choose to shift the way that you are viewing everything happening in your world, you are able to shift your perspective and shift your reality. If you were to see every single experience as, how is this serving me? How is this happening for me? Or simply just with a lens of curiosity, you would start to realize that there are always things that are aligning exactly the right way for you. If you even take a moment right now to think back to past relationships that you've been in, thinking back to maybe past jobs that you've had or whatever. And in that moment, maybe that person cheated on you or maybe you got fired or whatever. But then you look back and you're like, wow, I'm actually really happy that happened because now I'm in this really great great relationship, or now that I'm in this job that I actually really love. You can start to actually recognize how the universe and God and source is always actually looking out for you and leading you to the correct path. If we continuously see things as, of course that would happen to me, that always happens to me, we get into that stuck and limited mindset, you are going to only create things from that place. Instead of assuming the worst, why don't we shift into thinking that everything is working out for us? This is truly what I feel like has helped me so much. This has been the biggest change of my identity, that everything is always working out for me and everything is always going to be okay. And I am totally fine and I am always safe and I am always provided for. And now my default has completely shifted. Whereas in the past, I have been very negative. In the past, I did constantly complain. That was a part of my personality for years of my life, for 18 years at least. And I still have my moments, and I notice it and I catch myself and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. Literally last night I said something. I was like talking about something and I was complaining about something and I was like, that was so unlike me. Like, I don't really complain about absolutely anything. And then I literally sat there and was like, okay, like, why would I do that? And then I reframed the way that I said it and the way that I thought about it and the way that I perceived what the situation was. So we always have this option. We always have this choice to decide, how are we going to perceive what is happening to us? How are we going to perceive our external reality? And like I said, in the past, I wasn't the best at this. In the past, I always was the one that was like stirring the pot and bringing in drama and trying to just bring more chaos into my life, quite frankly. And once I realized that I have the control and I can choose a better way, I can choose the way that I show up, I can choose the way that I think, the way that I talk, the way that I speak, the way that I do everything in my life, that's when everything started to change. But we have to make that conscious decision to actually start to be on top of ourselves, the same way that we are with, like, when we're training a dog. Whenever we're training a dog and they do something that we don't want it to do, we're really on top of it and we're really like, hey, you can't do that, and we're disciplinary. But with ourselves, a lot of times our awareness is just so disconnected, or we're living our life on autopilot and we're just doing the same things that we've always done. We're thinking the same thoughts that we've always thought, or we're thinking the same thoughts that our parents have always thought constantly every single day. And we don't realize that those are actually very limiting. Those are actually very negative. Those are actually not there for our highest good. They've just been placed onto us, or we've just been floating throughout our life just thinking that this is how things are. But again, the reality is you have the opportunity to shift and change. And once you start to gain awareness of the things that maybe you are being a little bit more negative about, or that you're not being very optimistic about, you will start to realize that there is actually so many more opportunities out there. There is actually so many things that are working out in our favor, and it is just, again, your perception. Anytime something unexpected happens for me, I am constantly bringing myself to, how is this going to serve me? And I wonder what's going to happen next. And I just kind of get curious, and I wonder, who am I going to run into because I'm late going to this coffee shop? Who am I going to be able to give a compliment to since I'm a couple steps behind where I'm usually at? Whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm giving random examples here, but I'm always looking at, like, okay, that person just cut me off. I wonder where they're going, and I hope that they're getting there safely. Like, I've just shifted myself completely from wishing evil upon someone or like getting pissed off or whatever to just being like, I wonder how that's going to serve me. That's cool. Like, interesting. Like, it's interesting that they would decide to do that, but I'm not attaching myself to all of these external things that are happening and then trying to, like, validate myself of, like, of course that would happen, and of course that person would be a dick, and of course I'm going to be late, and of course this is going to happen, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not concerning myself with any of that. I'm just like, that's interesting. I wonder what's going to happen next. And like, I just constantly, I literally go through my life just honestly laughing and just being so lighthearted and not allowing things to get to me, because life is honestly so much better this way. Like, when you're not constantly stressed out and like frustrated at the world and pissed off because of how someone else is driving or how someone is walking slow in front of you, and like just being like, okay, like, you know what, this person's walking slow in front of me and I'm going to choose to slow down, and I'm going to choose to look around and see all the beautiful flowers around us, and wow, those buildings are so big and they're made of millions of dollars. Like, that's really cool. Like, you can always shift your perspective. And I even do this with my daughter. Like, there are moments where Arya will be losing her mind at something, and I, instead of like getting into that frustration with her, of course I have my moments, but instead of like engaging in the frustration and then like me being frustrated that she's frustrated and like building on frustration and adding more fuel to the fire, instead of getting into that, I literally look at her and I'm like, Arya, you know what's so cool? We have food on our plate. We have water. Like, how awesome is that? And I shift her perspective, or I take her to a different room and I'm like, look outside. Look at how beautiful these gorgeous plants are in front of us. Look at the lizards and how the birds just like fly around and they're just effortlessly existing. Like, I shift always. And this has helped me so much. That's why I'm sharing it with you, because it's these little tiny moments where we have the power to choose something differently. And when we do, we start to strengthen this neural pathway in our brain to seeing things working out for us, to watching how everything is unfolding in our favor, to expecting miracles, to expecting great things to come into our lives, to being excited for what's on the other side of wherever that you're going. Like, that is such a beautiful way of living your life, rather than being in this constant like state of just annoyance and pissed off and whatever that it is. And it can be very small moments. And that's why I think that it's so important to constantly come back to this conversation, to be honest, because at every single level that we hit or that we make it to, there's always going to be new things that like frustrate us or annoy us or that we wish were different. And when we can start to just shift and get into gratitude and just being appreciative of whatever it is, no matter how annoying it might be or however it used to annoy you, like, again, you have the power and you can choose to allow these things to not bother you and allow yourself to just simply let go. Like, becoming unattached to these things is honestly like so amazing. And that's something I'm consciously always doing. I just tell myself, like, you know, I wish I wouldn't have said that, but I'm going to choose to just let go and just not sit there and ruminate on it and make a big deal out of it and wonder, how did that person perceive me? And what did I say? And how do I wish that I would have done that differently? Instead of overthinking and over fixating on all of these things that I wish I would have done differently or the past, I just simply decide, you know what? I'm going to choose to let go. I'm going to choose to just accept and love not only myself, but everything around me. And it's just a whole different way of looking at life. And then, of course, as you do that, opportunities just start to open up. I see everything as miracles and divine timing. Like, just now I looked down and it said 13:33 on my clock. And like, those little signs, like, it's small things, but those little signs to me like mean so much. And I'm constantly reaffirming, like, I'm in the flow of the universe. Like, I'm in a really good spot right now. And anytime that I'm experiencing those really great moments where I have a lot of joy in my life or I feel really grateful, I really lean in. I'm like, let me just get all the juiciness out of this moment right here and right now. Like, how can I just engulf myself in this feeling of gratitude and expand that? And then once I think of one thing that I'm grateful for, all of a sudden 10 other things come flooding in. And I'm just like sitting in my car talking out to the universe, like, thank you so much for all of the beauty in my life. And again, it's just an option that we have. We can just start to do this. And the more that you do it, the more that things will change and shift and grow in your life. And the more that you're going to expand, and the more that you're not going to have to think about doing it consciously. Like, before in the past, I was like, okay, I'm going to wake up every single morning and I'm going to think about 3 things that I'm grateful for. I'm going to journal on 5 things that I'm grateful for. And I was constantly kind of like integrating gratitude into my life in a very structured way. And then eventually it became who I was. It's the exact same thing that you can do to shift your perspective of like, okay, I'm going to start to see all these opportunities as opportunities. I'm going to start to see all of these open doors as things that can serve me. I'm going to start to see all of these, even these closed doors, as things that can serve me. And like, you just slowly, you start to make those conscious decisions, and then eventually that becomes your new default. Eventually, everything is always working out for me. Like, of course that happened because I wanted that to happen. Of course I got everything that I wanted. Of course the universe provided for me in that moment. Of course all of the lights are green. Of course we get a free parking. Of course we get a free parking here. Of course I come into contact with that random person and now they're ready to pay me $1,600 a month to do their social media. Like, that is the new default that I live in. And everything truly always does work out for me. Like, even when I make mistakes and I fuck up, or I forget to like register something, or like I don't know, like I will make some mistakes, trust me. I'm not someone who's perfect whatsoever. And honestly, Tyler is always like, I don't know how everything works out for you, because there are times where I feel like my brain can just be kind of turned off. And Tyler's just like, I don't know how these things just work out, or like how you didn't get charged for not paying blah blah blah, or like I'll have someone comp me for doing some kind of experience. Like, just things always happen for me, and it's because I've chose to believe that things always happen for me, and miracles are always around me, and everything is working out for me. And it's my new perspective. And again, it does take time. It takes time to shift and change your belief systems and your thought processes and everything. But once you start to change the way you think, then you can start to change the way that you talk. Then you can start to change the way that you show up and the way that you present yourself and all of the things. And when you start to do that, other people also start to recognize that, and they're attracted to that energy. They're attracted to the energy of like, oh my gosh, like you're giving out compliments, you're grateful for things, you're appreciative towards people. Like, people are attracted to high vibe energy, high vibe people, good human beings in general. And so when you're just being generous and kind and loving towards everyone who you come across, you are going to attract more opportunities. You are going to attract more abundance into your life, because you're at a different frequency, and people feel that within you. They feel your happiness, they feel your gratitude, they feel your appreciation, and they want to go above and beyond to like to give back to that, in a sense. Like they just, it's an energetic thing. And once you're in this flow, you start to realize like, wow, I can just show up and be my best self, and people want to pay me for that. Like, people want to pay me to be in their businesses now because I'm showing up this way. Like, you have no idea what opportunities are lying around the corner once you start to shift and change this more and more. And right now the scales might be like 75% of the time you're maybe in a more limited mindset, and 25% of the time you're in a really abundant mindset. And then eventually it becomes 60-40, and then eventually it becomes 50-50, and then eventually it becomes 40-60, and then it continues to just grow and grow and expand and expand and expand. And that's the more that you grow, the more that you expand, and the more that you're able to just open the floodgates to everything that truly does belong to you, because you are worthy of having infinite amount of abundance. You're worthy of having loving friends. You're worthy of having an incredible healthy relationship. We're worthy of all of these things. But a lot of times these belief systems that we've had, or these negative thought patterns, or these limiting mindsets, can essentially close us off and not allow us to attract the things that we want. So when we start to just identify and become aware of these things that are no longer serving us and choose to consciously let go of them, then you get to shift into a better perspective, into a better frequency. You start to actually see all of these things, and then all of the things that you actually desire are able to come through with ease, because you are in alignment with it. There's no longer these limiting mindsets that are blocking it. It's if you imagine like a beautiful river flowing, and throughout each part of the river, maybe on the left side there's a couple like big boulders, and then on the right side, like a couple feet down, there's another big set of boulders, and another big set of boulders on the left side, now like a little bit further down. Like, there's just these like clusters of boulders every couple feet. Okay, once you start to like look at that boulder, and you start to actually like handle whatever is in that boulder. For you, that might be like the thought process that of everything is always going wrong for you, or like everything, you always end up fucking up, or you always end up like making a mistake, or whatever that first boulder is. And you start to like pick it apart. You become aware that the boulder is even there, and you're like, oh, okay, now I can see the boulder. Okay, now I can figure out, how do I like take down this boulder? Okay, I have to like break it up and dissolve it, or whatever the hell you're gonna do. you get to work through that. Like, we have now the awareness of, okay, the limiting belief is here. I'm going to work through it, and then I'm going to choose to believe something else that I can just remove all of the resistance, all of the blockages, and allow that water to flow easier, allow that flow of abundance to flow with ease, to continue to just prosper, to run effortlessly. But again, all of these little boulders can be holding us back. All of these limiting mindset or belief systems can be holding us back. So the more awareness that you gain through anything that you feel called to do, maybe that's meditation, maybe that's breath work, whatever, getting clear on it, then you're able to work through it, let go of it, and begin on the other side of it where you get to experience everything that you've always wanted. I came across this quote as I was writing out this episode, and I want to share it with you guys. It said, "The way we choose to see the world creates the world we see." And to me, this translated into like, when you see the beauty in life, when you see the beauty in others, when you see the beauty in yourself, when you start to see all of the options that we have and the time that we're currently in and all of the resources that are available to us and everything that is in your life right now that is working out for you, that has been gifted to you, the phones that we have, the laptop that we're typing on, like all of the things, when you start to actually recognize what a gift it is that we are even here experiencing all of this right now, you can truly transform your perception, and then in turn that transforms your reality. And again, this does take time. It does. And a lot of times people will start doing this and they won't see results as quick as they thought. Maybe that's a couple weeks in, maybe that's a couple months in, maybe that's a couple years in, and you're like, why is my reality not shifted? And why am I not seeing the things that I've been trying to get to? I remember back in 2018 was when I was like opened up to this whole world of attracting things, that your perception is your reality, and manifestation and all of the things. That's when I like really started my personal development journey, was 2018. And I started to really practice a lot of this stuff in 2019, like very, very strongly. And then in 2020, I started to see some of the fruits of my labor, like some of the things actually happening, and me manifesting my apartment, me manifesting moving out, like me manifesting in the Cadillac that I had, like all these different things started to manifest. And then I remember like shortly after that, like a year-ish after, I started to get into this mode of like, why are things not happening as quick as I want them to? Like, why am I not manifesting the next level yet? Like, why are things not growing in the way that I thought that it would? And like, I've been asking for more, but like, why is more not coming? And I remember getting in this mode of just being like, I remember so clearly, like I have the memories ingrained in my head of like driving to the gym, being like, I'm listening to all these audiobooks, I'm journaling like every single day, I'm doing my meditations, I'm seeing angel numbers everywhere. Like I'm confused as to why like the numbers in my bank account aren't reflecting that, and like why isn't my business reflecting that? I just remember genuinely being confused, and I've been in that place like a couple more times after that, being completely transparent. I've been in that same place, and I've really worked through this because I noticed this was a pattern for me, that I would like think that I'm doing all the things, but like why is it not showing up yet? And what I've realized is like it simply takes time, and each of those moments where it's not happening at the timeline that we thought it would, that's also teaching us something. That's also serving us. That's also illuminating something that we need to learn in this moment right now. Something else that we need to unlock. Something else that we need to become aware of. Or simply, again, just timing. And the universe is waiting to give you something incredible, and just like allowing you to be in this space, and just allowing yourself to surrender to that and accept wherever that you're currently at, and just know like, all right, I'm being set up for something great. Something great is coming. And like the darker that it gets, the brighter it's going to be. The harder that it gets, the easier it's going to be. Like this beautiful dance with duality of like being in the light and the dark, and just having this dance of life in general. Like there's just so many things happening that we may not understand right now in this moment, but in 3 months from now, in 3 years from now, in fucking 30 years from now, they're going to be very, very clear. But right now, can you just choose to be in appreciation for it? Can you choose to be grateful for whatever that you're currently going through? Can you choose to see all the beauty that's around you? Can you choose to not place your happiness in this this time in the future that like once you reach X goal, you're going to feel this way? Can you just be happy with where you're at? And can you disconnect the numbers in your bank account or the numbers in your business to the worthiness or the happiness, the feelings that you allow yourself to experience in this life? Okay, I hope that you guys are getting what I'm putting down here. And if you have questions, of course, go ahead and message me always. This has been such an incredibly useful tool for me, and it's changed my reality completely. And I cannot wait to see where you are at after practicing this consistently. And if you've already been practicing this, also send me a message on Instagram and like let me know what has changed for you in your life, what is evolving and changing, what is becoming brighter and lighter, and maybe what are the challenges that you're going through. Like, I am so here for you. I love hearing what you guys are experiencing right now and how you guys are growing and all of the things. So if you have any questions, please send me a message. Let me know if there's anything in particular that you are wanting to hear from me, and I will see you guys next Monday. Bye.